Good morning. Oh, if you're able, I'd love you to stand and clap and sing. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the light in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Now lift your voice and sing with me. Here we go. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of acapella, we come together. Woo! We come together. I love it. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love.
Knocking it out of the park right at the start. Thank you. Robert Anderson is in the house today. Welcome back. I see you got your same hips, your same hip moves. Yes, and the band, Scott, Nick, and Martha. Such talent. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. For those of you who I haven't met yet, I am the Associate Minister here, Trish Morris, and I am thrilled to see you all here. We know Amy from last week. She did a whole stunt up here. She came back, so that's impressive. We know that some of you are watching us online, so we welcome you as well. We're glad that you're joining us in that way. And we know that energetically we are all connected, and so however you are joining us, we're glad that you're doing that. And for those of you who are in the house as part of Friends and Family Sunday, welcome. I know someone reached out to you and shared their love of this place and invited you to join them. So we're glad that you accepted that and happy to see you here. I hope that you stopped by the welcome desk and picked up an information packet. It has more information about us and about what we offer here. And in that packet, you'll find a contact card. We would love it if you take a few minutes during the service to fill that out. And after the service, come out to the gathering space, turn that in. We have a gift bag for you for joining us today, so be sure you take advantage of that. And again, so glad that you're here. Want to let you know about a few, for those of you who are watching online and you want to let us know about you and how we can follow up with you, you can do that on our website, unitydenver.org. On the New to Unity tab, you'll see a contact form. So one of those ways, we'd love to know a little more about you. And I'd like to let you know also about some things coming up that we hope you'll take advantage of. First of all, today, every Sunday at 11:15, we air Natalie's message for the children. Today's will be Living from Light. They're great mini lessons, about 15 minutes. So if you're watching online, kiddos, be sure you tune in to that at 11:15 today on Facebook. Yes, speaking of kiddos, next Saturday, our favorite Santa in the whole wide world will be here. He's the real deal. We've had the same guy for 10 years. And all the adults end up taking pictures with him and goofing around with him because he's just a sweet, fun, jolly man. So, as he should be, right? So next Saturday from 9 to 11, if you want to bring any youngsters in your life to have a couple minutes with Santa, tell them their Christmas wishes and have their picture taken by Sabrina Garvin, who's a professional photographer. You can sign up to do that. We're doing sort of time slots online, unitydenver.org. There are some times available, so check that out. Also next week, Family Promise, Giving Tree. Yes, we just completed our Adopt a Child through Child Rescue Foundation. Thanks to all of you who participated in that. And we still have a sign up for families via Family Promise. And we support Family Promise. We have, prior to the pandemic, we have invited them into our space for 4 weeks a year, where they actually stayed here and made this their home. And with the pandemic that changed things, then we've just been contributing financially, thanks to your support again, to their programs, which has housed them in motels. So we also take, I think we took only 3 families this year to adopt the whole family for Christmas. Many of you have already done that. You can adopt one child or one adult. You don't have to take the whole family. So please, you know what I did today? Oh, I'm just coming to my senses. Let me tell you a little about my morning. No, I'm just kidding. I printed out the sign up because everything is online, and I know that's off-putting to a few of you. So you can sign up online for sure if that's convenient for you, and certainly if you're watching online. But I did print out a sign up, so if you want to check that out after the service and see who needs what, and if you want to sign up to cover someone, that would be lovely. Thank you for that. And there we go. This coming Wednesday is the Blue Christmas service David is offering at 7 p.m. on Wednesday. And that's just an opportunity to really hold the space for those of you for whom Christmas might be a difficult season. Perhaps you've lost a loved one or are separated from them in some way. So we hold the space for that and also sort of shine the light of hope in that service on Wednesday evening. So if that speaks to you, please take advantage of that at 7 p.m. And then next Friday evening, we're doing a Unity family outing to see the lights at Hudson Gardens. If you'd like to join your Unity friends here, you have to buy your own tickets through the website at Hudson Gardens, but if you go to our website or your newsletter, there's a link to that. They're doing that Friday night meeting at the gate at 6 p.m. for all you Unity people. Go ahead and put it in your mind as 5:45 to be there on time, so your group has you in vision to join that. So take advantage of that if that is something that speaks to you. And the Winter Solstice Retreat, mini-day retreat with Angie Catt is a women's red tent event coming up on Saturday, December 18th from 9:30 to 12:30. And you can sign up for that again on our website or via your newsletter. So take advantage of that. Angie's offering music and a time to connect and celebrate the winter solstice. So it's going to be a great event. So take advantage of that. And last but not least, the Uniteens wanted you to know our Uniteen group is our middle schoolers. They are meeting and they are inviting any young people that you might know who are in that age group who might need a safe space to be who they are and work through the challenges that today's teens, who would want to do that today? No thanks. That was rough enough 10 years ago. So they just want you to know that they're meeting and they have some fun social events. They're going bowling and doing pizza next Sunday, I think. And they have a service project lined up for the new year, working with delivering food, sort of a food bank situation, but moving food to deliver that. So not take advantage, but let people know if you have any teens in your life that might want to join them. They are open and welcome to you. Okay, now what? No order of service up here. See what he's done to me? There we go. Thank you. Yes, so as we settle in, I know I've been throwing a lot of activity at you, so just as we begin to sort of settle into this time and space together, we do that by repeating our creed together, so I invite you to say that with me. Our God is love, our race is human, our faith is oneness. And so I just invite you to relax, take a deep breath. I ring this bowl to open our heart chakra. We take some time in prayer this morning.
Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place.
I just invite you to take a deep breath into this place in this space. Wherever you are, we know God is. And so we take a moment to center in that truth, to center in that divine life that is living you and breathing you. And to purposely open our mind fully to that truth, to consciously connect with the idea that is expressing as you this divine life, this divine love, expressing as the perfect pattern within you. And so we connect to that place within us. From that place comes deep wisdom and understanding, peace, love, and when we need it most, hope. And so we breathe into that place. We own that place and that space. And we connect to the abundance that offers us, abundance of life, of health, of love, connection, prosperity. We are the presence of divine love expressing right here, right now. And knowing that we receive guidance, we receive support, healing. And so we open that up to that moving in and through and as us this morning. And we bring to mind anyone in our lives, in our world that may be on your heart or mind this morning, bringing them energetically into this space where we behold that truth for them as well. That they are implanted, divinely implanted with all that they need. May they feel that, may they know that. May they be healed by that. And for this opportunity that we have to know this and to claim this truth, we are thankful, so grateful. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
Thank you, Trish. Good morning. For those of you I haven't met yet, I'm David Howard. I'm the senior minister here at Unity Spiritual Center, Denver, and I see some eyes. I've seen some people this morning that I haven't seen in quite a while, so welcome back. If you are new to us, welcome. And we're so glad that you chose to spend part of your day with us. I just want to, we didn't talk about this, Trish, but I'm going to throw this out. Those of you who are online, we want to be sure that we welcome you fully, knowing that not everyone is necessarily here in Denver and knowing that not everyone is necessarily ready to be here in person. If you are new to us and you want to fill out that card online, we don't want you to miss out on the gift bag. So I would say if you're new to us, you fill out that card online and submit it, that we will mail you the contents of the gift bag. Does that work, Trish? Can we do that? Sure, we can do that. since I stuck my neck out there, we can do that. So I just want to be sure you all know that you are a part of this community, even though you're not here in person. Something is on my heart today that I just want to share. Many of you know that I spent a few weeks this summer, August and September, in the Appalachians. I grew up in Georgia, not in North Georgia, but I spent a few weeks there this summer and was really just spending time connecting with the land, with God, in the land, through the land, connecting with self, with nature. And I was also just connecting with the energy there and the energy of the native people that once inhabited that land. And some of you know that Jay and I went to Oklahoma for Thanksgiving. And there I was also just aware of the Wichitas are there where Jay grew up, and just aware of that, the sacredness of the land and the native people who once inhabited that land. And as I thought about that, I recognized that last month, November, was Indigenous Peoples Month. And I neglected to recognize that, to honor that, and I have some regret about that. So I thought it was important today to just honor that in my clumsy way, to honor that the land that we are on right here was once occupied by native people, mostly the Arapaho, the Utes, Shoshone, other tribes who worked the land and shepherded the land and were in charge of the land. And I'm not saying any of this to stimulate any shame or guilt for us. It's not about that. It's about recognizing and remembering the people who once inhabited this land, and also to be mindful that of the horrible treatment that they received, and not just that, but just to be mindful of how we are continuing to disenfranchise many of those people. And to be aware that we are all one. That we are all children of God. We are all expressions of the divine. We are all the same at the very core of us. And in unity, that's the basis of what we teach. Unity says it all. That we are one with the divine. Because we are one in and as the divine, we are one with each other. We are one with the land. And our opportunity is to remember that and to stand up for that, to speak up for that, and to stand for the equitable treatment of all people. So I just felt like I needed to or wanted to acknowledge that today. So let's just take a moment before we move any further and just breathe for a moment. And I just want to invite you to breathe into the awareness of the energy of the land, the earth that sustains us, and our connection to the earth. And indeed our connection to all people, all of our ancestors, that we are one. And as we recognize that, as we know that, as we choose to live from that awareness, that we do so with great honor, recognizing that all is sacred. And so it is.
Shortest day, longest night, so we burn the candles bright. Stars in heaven guide our sight till light returns again. Sometimes I'm blind, I cannot see my life as it is meant to be. That's when I let faith carry me till light returns again. And so it is since time began. There's always been a perfect plan. It took a while to understand the light and dark within us. Do-do-do, do-do-do, ooh-do-do-do-do-do-do, la-da-da-dum-dum-dum, la-dum-dum-dum-dum. And so it is since time began. There's always been a perfect plan. It took a while to understand the light and dark within us. Shortest day, longest night, and though we burn the candles bright, all is well and we're all right till light returns again, till light returns again.
Thank you, Robert. It's beautiful. Did you write that? Yay, Robert. Thank you, Robert, for that. Yeah. What's that? Megan Madonna. You co-wrote it with Megan. Oh, I love her too. If you were here last week, either in person or online, and some of you were, I know some of you weren't, Trish, our associate minister, spoke about it being the first Sunday of Advent. And she shared an excerpt from a talk given by Unity minister Eric Butterworth, minister and a prolific author, Eric Butterworth, about Advent. And I thought it was so powerful, I wanted just to share a piece of it with you, just a short piece of it, again, for those of you who might have missed it. He said the word Advent comes from the Latin adventus, which means arrival. It is a coming into view of something, usually referring to the coming of Christ, traditionally into the Mass of Christ or Christmas. In other words, it's getting prepared for a personal experience or visitation of the Christ. In a metaphysical sense, it can, and I think should mean to all of us, an expectation of and a preparation for the coming into our consciousness of our own divine potential, our own Christ self. The word Advent has also given birth to another interesting word, adventure, with the connotation of risk or dare. If this season is to mean anything more than an annual holiday charade, which becomes a pressure-packed and conformity-ridden Christmas celebration, we must take the risk of personal commitment to the discovery of a divine level within our being. It is this that we refer to as the great adventure of a lifetime. So the idea that Advent, this season of preparation for Christmas, is about the coming into our awareness, our conscious awareness of our own divinity, our own divine nature, the true light, what we in Unity call the Christ. The Christ that we understand, that the one we know as Jesus understood and embodied and lived. The one that we know as Jesus as our way shower, our example of what's possible for each and every one of us. Eric Butterworth is famous for saying, too, that Jesus was not the great exception. Jesus was the great example. And that we all have that potential within us to truly recognize that and realize that truth and live from that truth. What could be a greater adventure than that? What could be a greater adventure of a lifetime than to awaken to our fullest potential? Because what I believe about that is that that is truly why we're here. Not just to awaken to it, but to be it. That you and I become the second coming of the Christ consciousness upon the earth, so that we are the ones who bring into the earth, onto the earth, the reign of peace and goodwill and hope to all people. And we don't have to wait until Christmas. It can happen now because it's present now. But we're all on this adventure. We're all on this great adventure of a lifetime. And that's what I'm going to talk a little bit more about today. Our theme for today is hope is here. Hope is here. And so I'm going to talk about how does hope play into this adventure of a lifetime? What is hope about? What is hope really? I think sometimes we think of hope as some sort of passive state of mind or heart. It's passive. I hope that's going to happen, or I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that I'll win the lottery. I am hopeful that it will happen one of these days. But what I'm most hopeful about, is that we all awaken to the truth of us so that we can live in love and harmony and peace with each other. So those of you who know me, know my penchant for acronyms. Y'all are probably all rolling your eyes now. Here he goes again with these acronyms. But I came up with an acronym for HOPE. And what I want to talk about today is, you see this depiction here of the Nativity, of Jesus, the birth of Jesus, and the angel, and Mary, and Joseph, and the shepherd, and the wise men. And what we in Unity teach about this, all of the stories in Scripture, is that while they may be factual, they may not be, but they do contain truth. And that each of the characters in these stories represents something that goes on within us. Something that is happening. Something that happens in this great adventure of awakening, not just awakening to the birth of the Christ, but actually giving birth to the Christ through our words, through our thoughts, through our actions. So how is hope represented in this depiction here? Well, I came up with this acronym for HOPE, which is the states of mind and heart that will assist us in bringing forth and giving birth to the Christ. And they are humility, optimism, persistence, and enthusiasm. Humility, optimism, persistence, and enthusiasm. And what I want to say about that is each of these characters in the story can represent an aspect of that, or all of those aspects that can happen within us. I mean, think about the story and where Mary, the angel appears to Mary and says, "You're going to give birth." This young woman, this young virgin who is going to say, this angel says, "You're going to give birth." And Mary's like, "What? How is that going to happen?" And then, of course, Joseph is like, "No way, man. I'm not going to marry her. I'm not going to marry her because that would go against everything I've ever learned, everything I've ever been taught, everything that my culture tells me is right. And if people find out, Mary's probably going to be stoned to death, for God's sake." But what did Mary say in the story? Even though I don't understand how this is going to happen, I don't understand any of this, be it done unto me. Be it done through me. Joseph said, "Yeah, I don't understand it, but I will do this. I will take the guidance from the angel. I will take the guidance of that knowing within me, and I will follow through. I will take her to be my wife, and I will be a father to this child." Sometimes things don't work out the way we think they're supposed to work out, do they? Sometimes we have this idea about what's going to happen or how it should happen in our own lives. How many of you have ever been in that place where you think, well, this is the way it's going to happen, and all of a sudden, whoa. To be on this path, to be on this adventure of a lifetime of giving birth to our true nature, sometimes we get to be humble. We get to open our hearts to this idea, this energy of humility, and say, "I don't know. I'm open. I'm receptive. I'm willing. Guide me, direct me, open up to the wisdom that is all around us and follow it. Even though it may go against everything we think we know." Humility, the "I don't know" mind, and the "I don't know" heart that says, guide me, lead me, direct me. I think about the wise men. The wise men, the story, they were far east, and they are like astrologers, astronomers. They are scientists in a way. And they see this star in the sky that they've heard about, and they take off to follow a star. To follow a star. So I think hope is not a passive. Hope is active. And we get to choose to not be so much guided and directed by what we think we know, but to go into our hearts to embrace humility, to say, show me. Let your soul, let your heart be your guide. And then the idea of optimism. I mean, can you imagine in the story, Mary and Joseph take off to Bethlehem? Now, do you think they thought there wasn't going to be a place for them to stay when they got there? Do you think how easy it might have been to say, I'm not doing this. I'm going to turn around and go back? Do you see how easy it is for us sometimes in our journey, in our life journey, if we're truly focused on the adventure of a lifetime, which is to give birth to the truth of our being? How sometimes it is easy to fall into fear, to be pessimistic about things. Well, this is never going to happen. How is this ever going to be? Imagine if Mary had had that attitude. Imagine if Joseph had had that attitude. Imagine if the wise men had had that attitude and said, boy, that's a long way to go. But to be positive, to keep an attitude of positivity, optimism. Do you think there's any accident that all the angels, they show up and say, fear not? Don't get into fear. Don't get into doubt. And I know that's part of our human nature. At least it is for me, to get into doubt sometimes, to get into fear. But all through, there's this idea of don't get into fear, don't fear. For it's all good. I'm bringing you good news. And you can do it. You are doing it. But it requires our willingness to come back, to be positive, to be affirmative. You with me? And then this idea of perseverance. Did I say perseverance, persistence? Well, they're both kind of the same thing. They're both P words. To keep going. To keep going, even though sometimes we believe or think that it's not happening, that I'm failing, I'm not doing it right. That somehow I lose the faith in myself and I just want to stop. I just want to give up. I just want to sit down and say, let somebody else do it. Can you imagine the perseverance, the persistence it took? When you think about in the story, the trek to Bethlehem over a rugged terrain. Can you think about the wise men who were traveling from the east on camels through the desert? If you think about where they were and what it took to get there. Again, whether or not the story is factual, think about yourself. Think about the wise men as you, part of you, that is following that inner guidance, the inner star, to that awareness, to the awakening, to your giving birth to that divine nature of yourself. And sometimes it feels like an arduous journey. Sometimes we may just get bogged down in the world and our own stuff. And it takes a mind attitude of persistence and perseverance to keep going. I heard, it reminds me of something I heard once. If you find yourself going through hell, keep walking. Keep going. You may have some setbacks. We may have some disappointments. That's part of our human experience. Has anybody not ever had a setback or a disappointment in your life? But you kept going. And then it requires enthusiasm. If we look at that word, as many of you know, the entheos, just in God, or in that awareness of who we are, in the awareness of our source, of God. I love in the story, the Christmas story that we have in the Gospels, where Mary sings the Magnificat, praising God, being enthusiastic, filled with the Spirit, filled with life, just ready and willing to do whatever is necessary to give birth to the Christ, to the true light. And what I know, because I experience it myself, is sometimes when we look at the world around us, we see a lot of darkness. We see a lot of hurt and pain and inhumanity, humankind's inhumanity to humankind. We see lots of things happening in the world around us, and it is sometimes tempting, sometimes easy, just to say, what can I do? What can I do? I can't do anything. I'm only one person. But what I believe we can do is not, as much as we possibly can, not get caught up in the darkness. But to embrace this idea that I am on the greatest adventure of my life. I am on the adventure of a lifetime. And that is to awaken, to embody, to realize, to express the true light, the Christ of my being. And then from that place, we are the ones who shine the light into the darkness, wherever we find ourselves. You remember in the story in John, it talks about the Gospel of John, the true light was coming into the world, but the world did not know it. But the world could not defeat it. The world could not overcome it. The power is in the light. The power is in the Christ. The power is in our willingness to be that light in the world. And we get to consciously participate in it. Not passively. Not have this idea of, well, I hope one day the world will be a bright, loving, kind, and peaceful place. We all hope for that. But we can actively participate in bringing that about as we commit to this journey, this adventure. With humility. I don't always know, but I'm willing. I'm open, I'm ready, I'm receptive. Just like Mary was. I'm receptive. I'm willing. Be it done unto me. Be it done through me. How many of us are willing to say that? Be it done through me. Let me be the one to bring forth that light into the world. How many of us are willing to maintain, and I know it's challenging, to maintain this spirit of optimism, to see the good, to see the possibility, to see the potential in ourselves and in the world as we choose to bring forth the Christ. Optimism, trying not to, committing ourselves not to, falling into fear and doubt and worry. And are we willing to keep going? To persevere, to be persistent. And it takes our persistence, I believe, it takes our willingness to be persistent in our practices, in our meditation, in our prayer, in our conscious connection with the divine. It doesn't happen magically. At least it hasn't been my experience. And are we willing to embrace that idea? I love this idea of enthusiasm in that it's about being in the awareness of the divine, in God, in conscious connection with our true nature. Again, an active state of mind and heart that we can embody, we can participate in, and we can bring forth. So I'm encouraging us all to recommit ourselves during this Advent season and beyond to this adventure of a lifetime. To not hope that somebody else is going to do it, but to embrace hope in ourselves that we can do it. Hope in your ability to bring forth the Christ. Hope in your willingness to change. Hope in your willingness to make the commitment. Hope in your willingness to do whatever is necessary to bring forth the Christ. Hope in your commitment to standing in that truth. Because you and I are the hope. You and I are the hope for the world. And it begins here and now with our willingness to know who we are, to know our unity, and to live it. To follow our way shower, our great example, Jesus, who embraced all people, who was there with the disenfranchised, with those that society would shun. That's who we are here to be. So let's allow this next few weeks and beyond to be our Advent, our awakening, our coming forth, the arrival of something magnificent within each of us. All right, so let's take a breath. Breathing into this moment, we allow this breath to draw our focus from our thinking minds into our hearts, deep into the heart of God, the heart of the divine. As we let go of concerns, we let go of focus on the outer world, and for this time, this moment, we allow our attention and intention to be focused in the center of our being, where the Christ, the true light that enlightens everyone, abides eternally. That light that is right here waiting to be recognized, waiting to be realized, waiting for us to give it birth in every moment. And now is that moment. So as you breathe in, I invite you to be consciously aware. Allow that light to reveal itself to you. And as you breathe with every breath, just allow that light to expand. Allow that light to fill your mind. Allow that light to illumine every thought, bringing every thought into alignment with the truth of your being. Knowing who you are, what you are. And opening to this awareness of hope. That hope is not somewhere in the future. Hope is here, right now. As we embrace humility, optimism, persistence, and enthusiasm as our states of mind and heart. And so as we take just a short time in the silence, I invite you to continue to breathe with that, be with that. Allow that light to reveal itself to you in a more powerful way. And as you breathe deeply once again, bringing your full awareness into this moment, allow that light to have its life with every thought, with every word, with every action. As you awaken more fully and completely to the truth of who you are. And your recommitment to being that light in the world. And so it is.
I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Yes, I've got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Please sing with me. I've got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Yes, I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul.
Thank you, Robert. Take a deep breath. Are you awake? You here? All right. I'm glad you're here. Now is a time when we have an opportunity. Those of you who are tuned in online and those of you who are in the sanctuary today, if you have the app, you can donate through the app, and there are many other ways for you to give. I just want to say a special thank you to all of you who continue to support this ministry with your loving thoughts and prayers, and certainly with your financial contributions. We are blessed. and you are a blessing to us. So thank you. So I invite you now to say our offertory blessing with me. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am thankful.
So this is our oldest Christmas carol. It comes from the 17th century. Wow. And like David's talk and the Nativity, it's a symbolic song. And I'm going to sing one of the short verses, and then I'm going to repeat the short verse, and I want you to sing with me when I repeat it. You ready? I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. I saw 3 ships. Here we go. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. And whither sailed those ships all 3 on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day? And whither sailed those ships all 3 on Christmas Day in the morning? Whither? Oh, whither sailed those ships all 3 on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day? And whither sailed those ships all 3 on Christmas Day in the morning? Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day in the morning. So they sailed into Bethlehem. Here we go. Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day in the morning. What was in those ships? And what was in those ships all 3 on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day? And what was in those ships all 3 on Christmas Day in the morning? What was in those ships? Sing it with me. And what was in those ships all 3 on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day? And what was in those ships all 3 on Christmas Day in the morning? Well, faith and hope and love were there on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Well, faith and hope and love were there on Christmas Day in the morning. Sing that with me. Faith and hope and love. Well, faith and hope and love were there on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Well, faith and hope and love were there on Christmas Day in the morning. Joy and peace and light were there on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Well, joy and peace and light were there on Christmas Day in the morning. Joy and peace and light. Well, joy and peace and light were there on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Well, joy and peace and light were there on Christmas Day in the morning. So let us all rejoice again on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. So let us all rejoice again on Christmas Day in the morning. So let us all rejoice. So let us all rejoice again on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. So let us all rejoice again on Christmas Day in the morning.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Robert. Always a treat to have you here. And thank you all for being here. I want to also let you know, I don't think Trish mentioned it, but we're having a meeting of the Spiritually Motivated Social Action Team today. Some of you are or in attendance at our meeting before. And if you would like to join that, please plan to do so. I think we're going to do it at 11:45 in the fellowship room. Is that right? The fellowship room at 11:45. So you'll have time to go out and get your gift bag and meet some folks. And those of you who are regulars, please take the opportunity to go out and to say hello to our guests and let them know how glad we are to have them with us this morning. There was something else I was going to say, but I forgot what it was now. Oh, yes, I know what it was. I just remembered. If there is anyone who's here, you can be a guest or somebody who attends all the time. If you have any questions for me about Unity or about, anything, well, not anything, but if you have any questions that I might be able to answer necessarily about our beliefs or what we teach here, I'm happy to answer that. And if you want to come back in here at about, let's say 11:30, just come back in here and we'll have a little conversation if there's anything you'd like to talk about or ask me about. So I'm glad to do that, and I'm going to be out there meeting you as well. So I think that's it. Trisha's not here to keep me on the straight and narrow, so hopefully that is it. So thank you again for being here, and now I invite you to join us as we say our closing prayer. You can stand, please, as we say our closing prayer. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. As light, I illumine my world. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. As love, I live empathy, understanding, and compassion. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. As power, I co-create a world of love, unity, and equality for all. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. As presence, I stand in truth in every circumstance. Wherever we are, God is. Amen. Now join us as we sing our closing song. I'm not sure what it is. Let that be lifted.
Let there be love on earth, and let it begin with me.
Let there be love on earth, a love that was meant to be with God as creator. Family, all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment, love eternally. Let there be love on earth, let it begin with me. Thank you.